we're gonna shoot you.
172. So we have the guy
Stop.
with a knife to
Stop, Jared.
You stop.
I want you to shoot me. That is the last thing that Jared Romero ever said. Two Bernalillo County deputies shot and killed the South Valley man last year. Tonight, his family, though, has filed a new lawsuit claiming a breakdown in communication failed an Army veteran who was struggling with his mental health. Our 4 investigator Ryan Laughlin shares what happens next in a case that might sound all too familiar.
Fighting inner demons with a loving family calling for help is how Jared Romero's story ends. It's a story we've heard before. In 2019, we covered Alicia Lucero's death. Just like Romero, deputies say she had a knife, suffering a mental health crisis, and those deputies feared for their lives when they shot and killed her outside her uncle's South Valley home. Now, under a new sheriff, this lawsuit alleges a breakdown within the same department led to Romero's wrongful death. The watchful eyes on this sleepy South Valley street typically do not have much to see.
Well, I was in my kitchen and I heard, gunshots.
Susan Musante remembers peering through her fence on April 16th last year.
Someone made what they call a well check, which should really be a well check, not a dead check.
Sheriff's office.
Bernalillo County deputies show up here to Jared Romero's house after his father calls worried about him. According to the lawsuit, the Army veteran struggled with PTSD and had delusional disorder. Romero had been getting treatment, medication, and the month prior showed up to the BCSO substation telling deputies he needed to turn himself in for a crime he didn't commit. Clearly in distress and in a paranoid state, deputies took him to the hospital. A month later, the lawsuit says Romero's father told 911 dispatchers he was worried his son might hurt himself.
He has a knife to his throat.
Romero comes out of his house with a knife to his neck, telling officers he wants to die.
You need to stop, Jared.
I want you to shoot stop me. Right now.
Our neighborhood had a huge loss.
Musante says she's a licensed clinical counselor and an expert in mental health treatment.
We don't have adequate response to these things.
There are procedures in place to activate crisis intervention deputies, and even a database for law enforcement to know when they're walking into a situation with someone who might be in a crisis. The lawsuit claims a 911 dispatch may have miscoded the Romero's call for help, and deputies should have known what they were walking into, a concern the sheriff raised days after the shooting.
I just know it came out as a welfare check, and I don't know what a welfare check means to you, but to me, that's something a little bit more general. So we need to make sure in our policy and procedures, we need to make sure that is exactly what we are going to.
A BCSO spokesperson says they do not comment on pending litigation. However, right after this shooting, the department announced a new behavioral health and compliance manager to better help the department with these types of calls. Ryan Laughlin, 4 Investigates.